During the third millennia, in a strange place known as the United States of America, a war was brewing. Brainwashed Marxist idiots in colleges across the nation clashed with equally brainwashed, anime-obsessed neo-Nazis. Starbucks windows were shattered, Dodge Challengers were totaled, and Muslims realized that rental vans were cheaper than plane tickets. Skinny, anemic millennials from coast to coast were hospitalized with life-changing injuries such as sprains and first-degree burns. And the heroic knights of 4chan rose up to defeat Shia LaBeouf and drive the evil villain into a descent towards a madness the likes from which he would never recover. As the enemies of freedom destroy the cities that raised them, as America begins to resemble an Iron Maiden album come to life, two heroes have risen up to fight against the culture of utter madness and restore sanity the only way they know how, by refusing to take any of it seriously. Mersh.
And I said, hey, oi, let's chop your penis off. Oi, can I have me penis back? Why do you have dreadlocks, you white oppressor?
Royce Lopez.
Always be aborting. A always be aborting. Always be aborting. Breaking news.
Breaking news,
You're
guys.
hearing it only on our show first. Apparently Donald Trump has worked out a deal. He will get the wall. Unfortunately, it's going to be a rock climbing wall.
Oh, no! The other side's going to be a slide. You climb the wall up and you just
lands into a nice, clean, chlorinated pool. And then you immediately get a welfare check. Fucking A.
Oh, shit. He was a boy, he went to girl, now he wants to be a boy again.
Oh, God, just stay a girl if you're going to be this indecisive.
I think Caitlyn Jenner's a handsome woman with a great penis. Look, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with trannies. I just don't want to put that one's cock in my mouth.
Bound forever by their mutual love of smoking marijuana, Simpsons references and affection towards Alex Jones, these two men have joined forces to bring you uncut news and opinions directly from the belly of the beast. Saving Western civilization one childish dick joke at a time, here they are, your new heroes of the Imperium, Mersh and Royce Lopez.
Oh, snap. Allahu Akbar, it's Friday. That's right, November 10th. It's a brand new episode, end of the week edition of Revenge of the Cis. Mersh, Royce Lopez.
Hi.
The champs that run the camp in town for you right now. We got a huge show coming up, and I'm sorry, I'm a little distracted. It really is not fun not having a producer.
Yeah.
For this program. Royce has to do an insane amount of work while still being amusing and contributing to the show. And before we go live, I generally have to do all of the social media posting. And it's really hard because you do it like you're down to the wire.
Right.
And it's like, oh, shit, we're up. Boom. And I'm like trying to tag people. And
yeah.
Anyway, we are here. We have a huge show for you. Back-to-back big shows. We had Augustus Invictus yesterday. Today, second hour, we are going to be calling Angelique Bates. She was one of the original cast members of the show All That on Nickelodeon. And we got in touch with her, I guess, because of our Dan Schneider stuff.
Yes.
And, we're going to make it clear now. She doesn't have any dirt on Dan Schneider. She can get diddled by Dan Schneider. But she does have a lot of insight and a lot of firsthand experience of exactly how these large studios suppress these sort of allegations and stuff.
Yeah.
So she's going to be joining us second hour. And we got a ton of stuff today. What up, dog?
I guess the thing that we wanted to start with was, since we talked about it yesterday when the story broke, Louis C.K., came out.
Oh, he's gay?
And
he's really trying to get ahead of this thing, huh? He's
No.
the old Spacey.
Again, and it's not because, I'm going to say this, it's not because I'm a fan of Louis that I'm saying I like this apology, because I'm a huge fan of Kevin Spacey, and he's an idiot for what he did.
Yeah.
But however, after we read all the accusations, and remember, every time he took his penis out, he did ask.
He did ask.
He did. Look, I know that sounds ridiculous, and it's just fucking sloppy defense at best, but
he
did ask.
He did ask, and
Yeah.
it wasn't. I mean, look, it's gross, but there's a difference between because everything has been labeled now as like sexual assault.
Yes.
And we need to dial that rhetoric back. Like the mob justice thing is getting a little out of control. But again, he's a weirdo. But it's like I believe Louis C.K. to truly be the guy he portrays on the show Louis. He's not a, he's a big star, but it's like I don't think he's like Mr. fucking, smooth and everything. You know what I mean? And he's probably, like, hey, you're going to masturbate in front of you. And you know what I mean? Like again, Royce is right. It's creepy. But he did ask.
He says, I want to address the stories told to the New York Times by 5 women named Abby, Rebecca, Dana, Julia, and one who did not name herself. These stories are all true. At the time, I said to myself that what I was doing okay was because I never showed a woman my dick without asking first.
Which is, by the way, when you're at your hotel, tapping away on your little laptop, putting out a press release, at no point do you ever in your career think that you're going to have to type out that sentence in a press release.
Said, I never showed a woman my dick without asking first, which is also true. But what I learned later in life, too late, is that when you have power over another person, asking them to look at your dick isn't a question. It's a predicament for them.
And he's correct.
Again, I want to point something out, though. And I know what he's saying, and he's right, but we're talking 2002 Louis C.K.
But is this not... It's a bit silly to call out behavior that is the basis and the foundation for civilization and men being successful. The Harvey Weinsteins and the Louis C.K.'s of the world, they get women to interact with their penis by working hard and becoming a legend at something. Like nobody was ever going to fuck Harvey Weinstein if he was an electrician. Or Louis C.K. if he was the guy, the mildly retarded guy who bags your groceries. Like nobody's going to blow him. Louis C.K., if I recall correctly, has an Emmy. Like it's literally, it's like, you want to come to my house and look at my Emmy? It's on the mantle. I'll let you touch it. But then you have to touch my penis.
Well, he said, but what I learned later in life, it was too late, is when you have power over another person, asking them to look at your dick isn't a question, it's a predicament for them. The power I had over these women is that they admire me, and I wielded that power irresponsibly. I have been remorseful of my actions, and I've tried to learn from them and run from them. Now I am aware of the extent of the implication of my action. I learned yesterday the extent to which I left these women who admire me feeling badly about themselves and cautious around other men who would never put them in that position. I also took advantage of the fact that I was widely admired in my and their community, which disabled them from sharing their story and brought hardship to them when they tried, because people who look up to me didn't want to hear it. I didn't think that I was doing any of this because my position allowed them to think about it. There is nothing about this that I will forgive myself for, and I have to reconcile it with who I am, which is nothing compared to the task I left them with. I wish I had reacted to the admiration by being a good example to them as a man and given some guidance as a comedian, including because I admired their work. The hardest regret to live with is what you've done to hurt someone else, and I can hardly wrap my head around the scope of hurt I brought on them. I did remiss to exclude the hurt that oh my God. Okay, you get it.
All right, you guys get it. He's sorry. Long story short, Louis sorry, and he admits it.
At this point, I get it.
It's starting to he's starting to transform into Woody Allen, and it's annoying.
They were all of age.
No, I didn't mean with the jerking off. I meant with just his pretentious wordsmithing. Like, just fucking get to the point. You jerked off in front of some girls. You feel bad. We get it. Let it blow over. Let it die down. You're not Kevin Spacey, and it doesn't sound like you have any real serious. You jerked off in front of a couple of openers and some comedy writers. So,
again,
we forgive you.
I'm not one of those. And there's a lot of people that are hardline, like, oh, if a celeb talks bad about Trump, fuck them. No, stop. Like, there's a point in life, and this is, I think, where a lot of other conservative shows miss the point of being alive is that you have to be able to separate the art from the artist. Now, I'm not talking about, if some dude rapes somebody or something, but what Louis C.K. did, will I watch another one of his specials? Yeah, I did. And actually, reading the story that came out, I'm amazed that they even pulled his movie from coming out. It wasn't even that bad. You know what I mean? At least bad enough to pull the movie.
Yeah, and it's, yeah, I don't think that we're not talking Harvey Weinstein, Kevin Spacey levels of allegations. We're not talking like Terry Richardson, that photographer that was
That guy was
women.
fucking raping women, yeah. Allegedly.
He was like, hey, you mind if I pull out my putt and, beat on it in front of you? And they were like, and then he just kind of did it. It's weird.
Here's what it is. What he did. Was it against the law? No, it was not. Was it unethical? Yeah, you could say it was unethical.
But is it forgivable?
Yeah, of course it's forgivable. I think this isn't there's a difference between Louis C.K. saying, "Can I take my penis out?" and then taking his penis out versus Kevin Spacey randomly grabbing a dude's dick.
I'm gonna fuck your twink mouth and you're paying for dinner.
You understand what I'm saying? Like,
I can't afford
that.
this.
That's two different things.
I'll max out my credit card just on the meals.
Right.
Yeah, that's not a lot of good nicknames out there for Louis now.
Yeah,
Louis,
I know.
Louis, I say please before I make with the sleaze, CK. At
Yeah.
least he asked, guys.
Lewis, truth or dare, bare ass on a hotel chair, CK. That's from Calzone in the chat.
I'm sure he'll be fine.
Again, I said it yesterday, I'll say it again. That's the most disgusting thing he did was sit bare ass on a hotel chair. Who does that?
Yeah, that is a little
gross.
gross. I mean, even strippers carry around those little rags that they lay on a chair.
Now, before we get into politics and stuff, I wanted to point something out because this guy's a local legend, okay?
Oh, this is the head turn.
Yeah, and again, there's no politics about this.
No, this is
But this is our local news guy here in Florida, okay? His name is Gustavo Almodovar. Now, Gustavo Almodovar is unable to say his name without turning his head. All right? I'm going to play the video of Gustavo Almodovar. All right? You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to even make it full screen for everybody, so all you're seeing is him. All right? This is Gustavo Almodovar.
For now, we are live in Orange County. Gustavo Almodovar. 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 Gustavo Almodovar.
It sounds
Channel
like he's
9.
fucking casting a spell.
His name was Gustavo Almodovar. His name was Gustavo Almodovar.
It's not just the head turn. He says it the exact same way, the exact same enraging way over and over.
Understand, this is the short clip. I'm not going to play the long one. I was debating before the show.
Somebody needs to make like a futuristic-y vaporwave version of this. They really do. They got to make it like he's Max Headroom. That is the weirdest.
Look, and it's this weird
Gustavo Almodovar.
Gustavo Almodovar.
He sounds like
Mike, did you say you wanted to see if someone made some sort of remix of this?
Now we are live in Orange County. Gustavo Almodovar. Gustavo Almodovar. Gustavo Almodovar. Gustavo Almodovar. Gustavo Almodovar. Gustavo Almodovar.
It's less enraging with music.
Gustavo Almodovar. Gustavo Almodovar. Gustavo Almodovar. Gustavo Almodovar. Gustavo Almodovar. Gustavo.
Okay, you know what? I'm digging it.
This guy. So basically, as long as Gustavo Almodovar doesn't bang any kids or get a DUI and crash into anybody, he's got a job for life now.
Yes,
like, that's
forever.
You guys, for those of you who don't know, if you work at any local media market, right? Like like if you work at like the local alternative station or the local news team,
Mm-hmm.
all you need is like 1 or 2 viral video clips. You have that $55,000 a year job forever. That's it. You're the guy.
This guy has been around reporting here since I think 2008.
Does he introduce himself to the ladies that way?
No, but if you don't stop, I will play the 10-hour version.
Okay.
Of Gustavo.
I'll stop the show.
So play the 10.
I'll stop our lives before I listen to that shit.
Oh, fuck.
It was mildly less enraging with the music,
Yeah.
though. It was, but that would have gotten.
It does help.
That guy is like, is he autistic or?
No, just a reporter, I think.
Okay, it's the same thing.
Yeah. Gustavo
Almodovar. Gustavo Almodovar.
Okay. We need to bring something up.
Uh-oh.
It was the anniversary of President Trump.
So we all celebrated? Like,
Well-
did everybody celebrate like we did?
No, not like we did.
Oh, okay.
Let me tell you how people celebrated. This was at New York's Scream at the Sky event. So,
And that's just a euphemism for something, right? Like that's a great name for.
no, they're just literally screaming at the sky.
Oh,
Do you want to hear it?
sure.
These are the people, by the way.
Pussy
hold
hat.
on.
Pussy hat.
I know.
Sorry.
These are the people, by the way, the very same people that call Christians stupid for believing in thoughts and prayers.
Yeah, it's people with Asperger's. I got
But they're screaming at the, literally screaming at the sky. I wanted to help.
Search Tankian alone. This is fucking embarrassing. Can I just ask a question?
Sure.
Like, is everybody done now?
Sure. Everyone's
everybody
still screaming.
calm?
Everyone's screaming. Yeah.
Everybody's got it out of their system now?
I believe so.
Okay, cool. Trump's still president. So there's that. Good job though. I guarantee you every single one. There is nothing more productive for an adult to do as winter is approaching than to go outside and scream nonstop for the fucking at the top of your lungs for an hour straight. That's going to really when all of you call into work next week and blame Trump, it's Trump's fault. I can't come into work.
Well, here, this is the clip I wanted to play.
Ah!
Here you go. This is from Fox News. Someone was trying to interview one of these Scream at the Sky protesters.
Square Park.
Happy to see you.
Do you think screaming into the sky makes your side look good?
Screaming into the sky makes our side look fun.
Fun?
Yeah. it's
Funny?
fun.
All right, can you pause?
Sure.
The only way that
Oh, another good pause.
only way that interview you're an idiot, sir, who gave that interview. Not the,
Sir,
black guy who's yelling at the sky. Sir, no, he should have literally every answer should have been him screaming. Then he would have won me over.
I would have given him props.
If they're
But
like,
it wasn't.
So, what is that? What is the purpose of all this? And what time did you get here today, sir? I would have been like, okay, you know what? I like this guy. But you guys, that's the thing. The left, you don't even have a sense of humor. You're just spurging out. You're not any fun. If this were a right-wing protest and we were yelling at the sky, and that's exactly how it would have went. If we were out there reeing for freedom, like I could picture the right organizing. We should do that, actually. Can we? All right, guys, we're on it right now. I'm saying it. We need to organize a day for the right to all go outside in different cities and yell, "Ree!"
I
we
like
get an
it.
event going. Blackburn, if you're listening, can we get an event page going?
Re for autism?
Yeah, this is right. Hey, 4chan poll, guys, this is right up your alley.
Okay, can I let me help this out just a little bit. We do that, but I'm gonna throw a little curveball. You read directly into their faces, like liberal faces. You just rewrite at them.
You do it with some distance to be
Well, yeah,
safe.
no, of course. How about megaphone?
Yeah,
10 feet away.
Could we just? Yeah, I like your idea better though. Could we just at liberals?
Yeah.
We need to pick a day, make an event page, and everybody needs to get videos of them going out and going "Ree!" and a bunch of fucking Starbucks baristas.
I don't want. I was about to say I don't want to go to
Close with
Starbucks that day. It's gonna be a lot of screaming.
Any frozen yogurt shops, you just go in there "Ree!" with the fucking LARPy Kekistani flags on his capes. Come on, make a day out of it. You guys aren't doing anything. I would fuck her.
To be fair, you would fuck a lot of people.
How do you feel now? You feel better? Somewhat. You going to pacifier?
I'll go myself.
That was not, by the way, that was not a funny mode. That was a genuine
Go fuck yourself.
Yeah. That was. This guy's got bull. You know he's got like 3 big dudes behind that camera.
Oh yeah, he's not out there by himself.
Yeah, they got that Fox News money, so they're not fucking playing around.
Yeah. So
did they win? Is Trump gone now?
no, he's still president.
But I thought all that screaming would banish him to the shadow realm. That didn't work.
That did not work.
So he's still president. He's still working on the healthcare stuff. The wall's getting built. All that.
Right.
Good job, guys.
Oh, and by the way, Jimmy Kimmel, and I'm not going to play it. You fucking asshole.
You piece of shit.
He ran this ad and called it Trump Care, even though that never passed, to try to fool people to sign up for Obamacare, to see if he could trick right-wing people to share it. Hey, stupid. Keep talking down to half the country. Keep doing it. Because you know what we were watching on Election Day? While you people were screaming at the sky? We were watching the compilations of the liberal meltdowns.
Spectacular meltdowns. That's how and that's why I alluded to that earlier. That's, half of this country spent the day screaming autistically into the clouds. And then the other half, like myself and Royce, and many of you listening, and I know you guys did it too, you took a couple minutes that day probably because YouTube recommended it, and you watched clips of like Ben Shapiro laughing and cursing.
Which, by the way, if you want to see something funny,
it's Ben Shapiro.
because Ben Shapiro, he's always so
stiff.
laughing for like 2-3 minutes straight,
Yeah.
like crying laughing on election night.
But it was, watching both sides. But yeah, dude, that's how we celebrated on the anniversary. We watched that coverage as they did every kind of piece of mental gymnastics they could think of and all the rationalizing. And they're like, well, Hillary could still sweep, let's say Minnesota and then get South Dakota. And then it was like, carry the one. Well, Guam is allowed to vote now. It's just, it was beautiful watching people cry. Anna Kasparian, the dumb bitch from the Young Turks.
Yeah, the Armenian woman who works with an Armenian genocide denier, you delusional bitch.
Who had to look, if I was getting fucking Young Turks money, I would hang out with somebody who denied the Irish potato famine happened, okay? But she's on the wrong team and I don't like her. Watching that dopey bitch have to get up during a live broadcast and go collect herself and cry in the hallway. That shit. No, when people jokingly go, "Oh man, that made my dick hard," that literally made my penis hard.
Yeah,
it turned me on. Seeing her brokenhearted Anna Kasparian go, "I'll be back."
Why don't we watch just a little bit of them because I want to
never gets old.
This is the time for real wisdom. Lightning round.
Why was Martin Short on there with Brian Williams? Oh, that's Rachel Maddow. I'm really sorry.
Yeah, I get them mixed up. All
They
the time.
same haircut. It always gets me.
But anyway, back to Justin Bieber and what's his face.
Back to Justin Bieber.
He looks weird as a brunette.
Back to Justin Bieber and the lying guy.
So anyway, what were you saying, Ruby Rose?
Yeah.
What's happening?
Sorry, he can't finish. He's under sniper fire.
Hey, Prettier Ellen, what do you got to tell us? That's a handsome woman.
Prettier Ellen.
I'd fuck Rachel.
Oh, yeah,
Maddow.
me too.
I'd give her a dickin' just to show her as boss.
Hey, Paula Poundvag. Why don't you tell us what's up next?
Here, smell my forearm. Jesus Christ. It
Real
smells, it
wisdom.
smells like Chris Hayes.
Oh, fuck.
Oh, fuck. I love making fun of these cucks.
Lightning round.
If Trump wins, how about bursting into tears and screaming fuck for the next 45 minutes?
Well, America is crying tonight. I'm not sure how much of America, but a very
Obviously, the minority of America. The smaller of the two groups of America are in tears right now.
Actually, Hillary won the popular vote, so what you're saying is false.
Yeah, you know who was upset when fucking Hillary lost? Fucking Tony Podesta's art dealer and fucking people who own pizza places where they rape kids.
The closer in the chat says, I've noticed men are much more into hate fucks. Yeah, we are.
Oh yeah, you got
Hate fucks are the best.
Oh yeah, dude. You think I want to look? I love the right wing, cute chicks and all
You
the
almost
girls.
said right wing thoughts.
I did.
It would almost came out of your mouth.
I did, but I stopped myself.
But
'cause
then I brought it up.
I stopped it because I respect women.
No, he doesn't.
But
I'm not saying I do. I'm not saying I do, but he does.
I literally just posted repeal the 19th today.
Yes.
But anyway,
I walked in on him, I think, getting sexually aroused watching the scene in Boardwalk Empire when they're talking about why women shouldn't vote. He was like, this is great. Is it wrong? He was like, are they wrong?
If the Commodore were alive today, I would vote for him. Okay? But no, but hate fucks are better, dude. I'd rather fuck one of these liberals. And I've done it. It's more of a challenge when they hate your guts.
Right.
And then they're fucking you. And then when you give them a good savage dickin', they, and then you go, yeah, that's right. Now take up fucking beat it, stupid.
Josh in the chat says, I hate fuck the guy my ex cheated on me with. Oh, Jesus, dude.
Well, that's okay.
All right.
It's a little odd.
Back to just a little meltdown.
Screaming fuck for the next 45 minutes.
well, America is crying tonight. I'm not sure how much of America, but a very, very significant portion. And I mean
At least
literally crying.
No more than 49% of America are extremely upset tonight.
Oh, fuck.
Oh, shit.
Body is crying and so upset.
Oh, by the way, since it's the morning Joe, you know what Mark Levin calls him? The morning schmo. I know you like the nicknames, so I have to remind you.
I hate you, Levin.
And it is the end of their world.
Feels like the end of the world.
Well, for you, Trevor Noah, because you cannot fucking fill Jon Stewart's shoes.
Oh, God, no. You can't fill one of Jon Stewart's shoes.
Win an Emmy. How? What has he done?
His life is rigged.
He's not funny.
He gets an Emmy for the same reason Dan Schneider hasn't been exposed yet, because it's fucking everything's owned by 4 Jewish people. Basically. That's why.
On Lifetime last night.
Take
And
it
I
up.
was,
Take it
slowly
up with Sumner Redstone Steen. Sorry.
Thinking of Steen, here's Joey Behar.
Getting drunk is what happened to me.
How do we explain how this is possible?
The Electoral College.
Yeah. And also, by the way, maybe, just maybe, you guys lost because your way of dealing with losing is to get drunk, scream at the sky, and fucking declare that it's the end of the world. You sound like goddamn toddlers with substance abuse issues. That's why you lost.
How did this happen? Experienced politician versus racist.
I don't know. Why is Carrot Top so mad?
I know, seriously.
You would think he'd be a Republican with how much money he makes out in Vegas.
Oh my God, she looks like a cross. She looks like if they ran out of like a guy who could play Carrot Top on SNL, so
Yeah.
Tina Fey had to do it.
There you go. She looks like if Tina Fey was playing Carrot Top on SNL. That's how goofy you look.
Anyway, what did you have to say, Rita Rudner?
Yeah, what's
Help
going
us
on?
out.
What's going on, Freckle Tits?
Fake gynecologist.
Get your abortions now.
How many? I mean,
what?
Like, get pregnant and go get one? Just get it out of my system?
Why are they obsessed with abortion?
I don't know. It's the weirdest thing. But it's the Christians that are fucking wacky. Hey, maybe don't kill a baby.
Get your abortions now. Because we're going to be fucked.
Even that
and
dude.
we're going to have to live with it.
Even your own crowd was like, Jesus, give it a rest, lady.
Yeah, what's wrong with you?
Nice freeze frame.
Oh yeah, always. I'm good with that.
That is Rachel Maddow if she got a DUI.
Yeah.
That is what she would look like. What? You know who I am?
You're awake, by the way. You're not having a terrible, terrible dream. Also, you're not dead and you haven't gone to hell. This is your life now. This is
pretty dope.
Our election now.
It's also pretty hysterical and insane hyperbole.
Mm-hmm.
It's so dumb.
This is us. This is our country.
You're a news anchor! Ah, sorry. You're not supposed to say things like that. Like,
No.
Like, this has been the big... Dude, if anybody ever asks me, why would you vote for Trump? Why would you support Trump? Why would you tell others to support Trump? Because time and time again, he has exposed these people for being insane and biased and bitter and angry and condescending, and it's just he is piece by piece. That night when he was that right there, 279 to 228, when they were all like die, I knew right there the right thing had been done. I knew it.
It broke them
today than it was 24 hours ago. It's a different place. It just is different.
The woman who President Obama called the most qualified person ever to run for the White House couldn't break through the question.
Really? You don't think like
enough about Trump?
Yeah, I don't know. Well, maybe John Adams or Teddy Roosevelt, George Washington, the guy who made America,
Abraham Lincoln.
Who's that guy? Which one was he?
He's the reason we have to pay to get our lawn cut now.
Remains, who can?
Deeper concerns tonight that the world's shining light of democracy has gone dark. Decent.
You fucking hysterical babies. Today is the death of our great nation. No, it's not. It's the new guy. He's president.
Stop overreacting.
How much power do you think the president has? Obviously not much. He can't get anything done.
He lost last night, and that's what's so hurtful about this.
This was a white lash. This was a white lash against a changing country. It was a white lash against...
She's white!
White people hate a white woman.
She's white! God damn it.
But this is why I love... Again, reliving this night, because Trump exposed the media every step of the way. And there was nothing that was a bigger, just shined a bigger light on their corruption than the fact that they absolutely did not even plan for a Trump victory. So it's like watching them all just trying to fill the time with words.
Yeah.
They're exposing themselves every step of the way. And it was delicious. I couldn't sleep that night. I got fired from my job the next day, and it didn't even faze me. I was like, what are you going to do? Make America great again.
Against a black president in part. And that's the part where the pain comes.
I kind of push back against the advancement of African Americans, of Hispanics, of women, of Muslim Americans.
What has he done to any of them that are legally here? Tell me something he's done to any of them that are legally here. Tell me. I want to know. What's he done that's so terrible? I mean, this is...
What did Trump do that's illegal? He accepted money from Russia to sell them our uranium.
That's Hillary.
Private email server.
Again, Hillary.
Libya.
Hillary?
Murdered Vince Foster.
Allegedly Hillary?
Those were all Hillary?
Yeah, that wasn't Trump.
Oh, man, then we made the right choice then. Glad I didn't listen to these guys.
It is a mourning moment for those people.
Look, first of all, I don't like you, young Bill O'Reilly. Enough of you. He looks like a face swap of like a face combination. Like, remember when Conan would go If They Mated?
Yeah.
If you took Steve Ducey and Bill O'Reilly and combined their faces, that's what you would get.
And it is a moment filled with fear.
Because I'm on this network and people know my attitudes about things.
You look like a turtle out of his shell now, Chris Matthews.
Yeah, I've never watched somebody wither more than Chris
Yeah.
Matthews. He's turning into Emperor Palpatine.
They come up to me and they're scared, depressed, despair, desperate even, almost
talking over the dentures now.
You know what's great about Chris Matthews, dude? It's like he just looks like any really opinionated drunk guy at a bar.
Yeah.
Like, this is ridiculous. I'll tell you what, I call it Taxachusetts with all the money we're giving these corrupt politicians, am I right? I mean, senators, they got these pretzels here, $5. Are you crazy?
clinging to me.
It was a rough night for everybody, I think. We're worried. The people are worried, Okay, he's the...
Really, Whoopi, this is when you decide to get that haircut?
Yeah, no, seriously, calm down, Booker T.
Jesus Christ.
5-time.
president. Now what?
It feels like we're trying to avoid the apocalypse, and half of the country is voting for the asteroid. Is there...
I hate him.
Yeah, guy who made your career off of somebody else, pretending to be somebody else. Shut up.
Everything. Yeah, who also played a version of somebody else on somebody else's show.
Yes.
And then kind of got a show. And nobody, Stephen Colbert, nobody at CBS is thrilled. Nobody.
Doomsday plan. For a time like this, am I right to ask about a doomsday plan? Do you see this as a doomsday scenario?
So if Donald Trump is democratically elected...
First of all,
and
Rachel Maddow, okay, listen, sweetheart, why don't you grow your hair out a little bit, smile a little.
Have you tried smiling more?
Come on, baby.
So if Donald Trump is democratically elected and your son is serving as a Marine, you wouldn't trust his life under that commander-in-chief? And Kane said, I wouldn't.
General Mattis is probably the most qualified person right now, and he's running the
Is
military.
he? What's his deal? Who's he? Never heard of him.
It's General Mattis. He's like one of the most
Is he like
well-known.
Is he like a big...
He's like, yeah, really well-known.
I mean, he sounds like a cool guy.
Like Hillary would have probably even picked him also.
Yeah, no, I'm kidding. General Mattis is literally one of the only... It's very rare that you see a guy in politics or in the military living today in your era that you're like, that's a statue guy.
Yeah.
Like, that's a guy who gets a statue because he's so, Yeah. But yeah, he's terrible. Trump's done a terrible job.
That's a pretty...
Mitch says, Mike and the Mad Dog, General Mattis.
Oh, what do you say there, General? What are we doing?
I thought we were here to talk about the Iraq...
Or no, it would be Mike Francesa. So Mike Francesa
Yeah, you're
would
right,
be
good
with
point.
the Mad Dog.
extraordinary thing to say if you have a son in the Marine Corps and that you don't trust the commander-in-chief.
All right, look, pause. Do you know how many people had a son in the Marine Corps and they didn't trust Obama?
Do you understand? Do you even grasp how many corrupt organizations and lobbies and media empires and political empires are just crashing and burning since this man became president?
Yep.
Fuck you people. How dare you? You guys rigged your own shit. You handpicked a garbage candidate and ran it against a high-energy, masculine American businessman.
People in the military defend the Constitution.
I can't put I cannot put I can't put a happy face on that. And that's my job.
This is the first time throughout this entire race where I'm officially shitting my pants.
That would be the funniest thing you've ever done.
I genuinely do not understand how America can be this disorganized or this hateful. How do you...
They're not hateful because they don't like because you ran the worst candidate probably in the history of candidates. Seriously.
She was terrible.
And they were trying the most qualified. Why? Why is she qualified?
And it was not even an anti-woman thing or an anti-African-American thing.
She's white. How can it be?
Because you could have ran, like when people go, oh, you still like Obama because he was black. Give me a Ben Carson. I'll take a Ben Carson or her.
Uncle Tom.
Yeah, or what about women? There's plenty of decent women that I would deal with. Look, I think that Margaret...
He can't name any.
No, I think Margaret Thatcher, seriously, is one of the most badass women in history, right?
And hottest. Am I right? Huh?
I wouldn't give her that.
Am I right?
But Margaret Thatcher.
Smash?
I'm not
High five.
high-fiving you.
Smash.
Don't touch me.
Margaret
I don't-
Smasher.
If you touch me, I will kill you. Everyone in this house. No, it's-
I got him.
But anyway, yeah, no, it was not a, that woman, in my opinion, Margaret Thatcher was a handsome woman. No, she was, but that was a woman who projected power and she was a conservative. She fucking led her country through some really tough shit. Hillary Clinton was a murderous gangster, allegedly.
Cunt. Also, you forgot the cunt thing.
Govern when your whole campaign was built on the hatred of somebody else.
From slavery to
Whoa! Fuck!
From slavery to Trump. America. Boo.
I was saying boo Trump.
I was saying boo Clinton.
Of somebody else.
from slavery to, Nazism. We have faced challenges before.
Are you comparing Trump to slavery or Nazism, you fucking insane lunatic?
Who we are as a people.
Plus the Supreme Court, who knows where that's going to go. So,
pretty moderate guy got in there. That's what happened. I mean, no, this a moderate dude got in there.
A moderate guy who you guys are still fucking freaking out about on an hourly basis.
And every time they question him, he's like, very moderate answers. Even the abortion thing, like, what do you think? He's like, well, Roe v. Wade's been decided.
No, but I'll say this. No.
Yeah.
Trump knows. Because even that thing we saw from South Korea the other day,
Yeah.
the girl ambushed him and was like, what do you think about gun control?
I have that pulled up.
But he knows how to look, as a guy who knows how to push buttons, particularly in females, Trump has a way of just adding that extra word or two where you're like, when he said, oh yeah, no, I'll answer your question if you think that that's an appropriate question right now. Sure, I'll answer it. Like just that little extra where you're like, you motherfucker.
I have
He
that.
knows what
I'll play that after this.
Yeah.
the only checks and balances we have are us, the view.
Well, no, you used to have actual checks and balances built into our government, but when Obama got elected, you guys just kept giving him more and more power.
Having Elizabeth Hasselbeck on your show isn't a check or balance, you dumb bitch.
Yeah.
Oh, Carrot Top's mad again.
Hey, listen, I'm just happy that Sherry O'Terry's doing a new character. I have not
Oh,
seen her
that's
in
what
years.
it is. And also, if you have that dark hair, you shave your arm hairs, you idiot.
She looks like Elaine Boozler.
No, because I'd fuck Elaine Boozler.
Learning like middle school.
I used to hang out with Elaine Boozler, and she used to give me Percocets
Bob
all the
Levy's
time.
here.
We would hang out.
Hey,
and-
Bob Levy, our
How
show's
you
bigger
doing?
than yours now.
I'm
Why don't you
sorry.
get the fuck out of here?
No, I'm on like 4 FM stations.
Are you?
Yeah,
Mhm.
and I mean,
By FM, do you mean AM?
And sometimes they'll take my calls at XM now, like because when nobody's there at night in the offices.
Campaign the best ground game. This is a shot against meritocracy, I think, because she merited everything. The normal way you standardize these things.
Still soapy, and the chat goes, Cheeto does.
Don't even say it. We'll lose our monetization. That greedy bitch and her copyrights.
I think she did what she's supposed to do to win.
You know, she was Hillary Clinton, the most qualified candidate. the
I still
best
think that Chris
suited for the job.
Matthews, he looks like an old-timey Irish cop that should be taking a stack of money from an Italian mobster.
Yep.
Yeah, I'll go down there and crack the heads of those colored bastards. Don't you worry about it. Here, thanks, Luciano. He just has that old, mean, drunk Irish cop look to him.
When was
Whoa.
Chaz Bono on CBS this morning?
Oh my God! Look at this guy. Looks like you know what? This guy looks like when you're creating a character on Skyrim and you drop the fucking controller for a
Oh,
second.
yeah, and you put the chin all the way down?
You're like, no, I don't want my guy to look like that.
The most qualified candidate, the best suited for the job, the best temperament. Now we're hearing not a good candidate.
Best temperament? Didn't Hillary like throw things at Bill Clinton and stuff like in those books? And
she was also
called people super predators.
She was also the only candidate in recent history to not give a concession speech when she lost the election because she was too busy having a drunken meltdown and threatening to kill people, allegedly.
Oh, by the way, someone put it on the chat. What's wrong with this bitch's shirt? Did she fall asleep on the subway and someone tag her?
She looks like she went to paintball and then went straight to work.
Yeah.
Nah, don't worry. They won't even notice.
The best temperament.
She looks
Now
like
we're hearing
a
not
Dixie cup.
good good candidate.
History is put on hold yet again.
We have no idea who won.
Oh, this bitch.
Chelsea Handler. Chelsea Handler's been 45 since she was 27.
She's seriously. Oh my God, she's Samantha from Sex and the City.
Yeah, seriously. By the way, freeze frame kid.
Yeah.
And to cover our bases, we taped 2 different show opens. First up, here's the outcome I'm hoping for. Hillary Clinton is the next president of the United States. But just in case.
Did you see that?
Yes, I saw.
Now let's see what happened in the Trump one.
But just in case the unthinkable
Can't wait. This is the best.
has happened and Donald Trump is our new president, the show open would look something like this.
Oh, hello.
Okay, that's actually kind of funny. I don't like Chelsea Handler, and I know she didn't write that joke, but that was funny.
Yeah.
And honestly,
That was actually Ann Coulter.
Yeah, and that would be a nightmare for us on the right, too. Nobody likes it. I don't like...
No.
Yeah, Ann Coulter is a horrendous woman.
Oh, that's, I think, the end of this. Anyway, yeah, that's what we were watching. But yeah, what you were talking about is the NBC reporter that was asking Trump about the...
You've talked about wanting to put extreme vetting on people trying
Chick's
to come
cute,
into
though.
the United States. But I wonder if you would consider extreme vetting for people trying to buy a gun.
She's cute.
But look at that.
Oh, she's got crazy eyes.
Yeah, she's cute. She's also fucking insane.
Yeah, she's got like the Katie Holmes thing going. I'd give it a smash.
All right, let's
Talked about wanting to put extreme vetting on people trying to come into the United States. But I wonder if you would consider extreme vetting for people trying to buy a gun.
Trying to what?
Buy a gun.
Well, you know, you're bringing up a situation that probably shouldn't be discussed too much right now. We could let a little time go by, but it's okay if you feel that that's an appropriate question, even though we're the heart of South Korea. I will certainly answer your question. If you did what you're suggesting, there would have been no difference 3 days ago, and you might not have had that very brave person who happened to have a gun or a rifle in his truck go out and shoot him and hit him and neutralize him. And I can only say this, if he didn't have a gun, instead of having 26 dead, he would have had hundreds more dead. So that's the way I feel about it.
And are you
Not gonna
considering,
help.
And are you considering any kind of gun control policy going
When you
forward?
look at
Because
the city with the strongest gun laws in our nation is Chicago. And Chicago is a disaster. It's a total disaster. Just remember, if this man didn't have...
By the way, again, that the nailing her with Chicago was, and yes,
Nice.
again,
Okay.
I'm crushing it
God,
all.
dude.
Today I'm on fire.
There is, and I've said it before and I'll say it again, there is no better freeze frame guy in the business than Royce Lopez. And if there were like a Webby Award category for best freeze frames, I would pay the $325 and enter Royce.
Still probably wouldn't.
Yeah, you're right. $325 entry fee. Fuck it.
You look at the city with the strongest gun laws in our nation is Chicago. And Chicago is a disaster.
He's not wrong. Hang on. Scanning for lie. 0 lies found. He's
It's
right.
a total disaster. Just remember, if this man didn't have a gun or a rifle, you'd be talking about a much worse situation in the great state of Texas. Thank you.
Bam!
He's dude.
Bam!
It's like I try to think of this from the perspective of a real leftist, and I can just see why they hate him.
Oh, yeah.
If I hate because here's the thing. All right, I get why the left spurgs out because Trump very subtly makes them spurg out on a regular basis, and it's genius because they're just dude. if you lose a presidential election in a way like in an embarrassing way like they did with Hillary,
It was embarrassing.
it was a disaster. You need to immediately, the next day, begin work on that next campaign. And it needs to be pitch perfect, and you need to take that sucker down.
Yep.
Trump has managed to keep you people freaking out and melting down and not focusing. And
He
it's
has you
beautiful.
literally screaming at the sky.
And that's, but the thing is,
You
right?
understand that for years, the Christians are crazy, man. The evangelicals, you guys are out there screaming at the sky and crying instead of dealing with reality. That's embarrassing.
And it's there's two different presidents in the last, few years, two different sets of superpowers. It's like two different X-Men. Obama had this supernatural ability to basically bankrupt this country, triple our national deficit, shove a health care bill that's very socialist down our throat. He was drone striking, shooting, doing all kinds of secret stuff.
Celebrate good Obama, come on!
It's Obama. But Obama had a supernatural ability to just make you take it and just like you would swallow it because he was so, we're gonna do this, we're gonna be united, and it's like he was just so like you'd go
like Louis C.K. in a hotel room. You do what he says.
Exactly. But he had this like his way of controlling the country was even conservatives would be like, God damn it, this motherfucker is good. You know what I mean? Like Obama was good at mind fucking you and saying, look, we're going to do this crazy thing that's actually really horrible. But he would say it in a way that if you questioned him, people would go, you're nuts. You're just being racist. Like, leave him alone. He's a great guy. Trump has this other set of abilities that are much more offensive where he adds things that purposely make the left go, this son of a bitch. And everybody else sees that statement and goes, he's right, though.
Yeah,
Where's the lie?
He's not wrong.
And the more you spurg out, I hope we can keep doing this for 3 more years.
I don't see why not.
If you people just keep taking the bait, you're not gonna get. I don't give a fuck if we abolish term limits and you run Obama again. If you guys keep acting like this, he's going to get a second term. You're stupid. Stop being stupid. Stupid.
All right. We're going to go to break.
Ooh, Siggy time. Coming up after the break, we are going to have actress, recording artist, Angelique Bates, something you guys have been waiting for a while, and we'll be talking Hollywood grossness.
And while we're on break, go to patreon.com/revengeofthesis. Give us a little dinero to make this keep happening. All right, guys, we're out of here. For now. We'll be right back.
Orlando, Florida, a city known for its theme parks and resorts. But peace is threatened as a wave of crime has turned this once beautiful vacation destination into a haven for gangs, thugs, and terrorists.
I need backup! Pulse nightclub! Shots fired! Shots fired!
When an LGBT hotspot is shot up and dozens are killed, 2 detectives may be this city's only hope to unravel a conspiracy of corruption that goes all the way to the nation's most powerful elite.
This is Grizzly.
Hey, Lopez, look, it's called Pulse Nightclub. Hey, I bet
Don't. Seriously, dude, just don't. Not now.
When the city finds itself gripped with fear and under attack, Mersh and Lopez keep a cool head as they attempt to unravel the mystery.
I believe these men were targeted simply because they were homosexual. This is a hate crime.
Gross.
It is gross, partner. Targeting people out of hate like that?
No, I meant the gay stuff. That's pretty gross. These 2 no-nonsense cops are about to find themselves dragged into a world of political intrigue and international terrorism, and they may be the only hope to save the world.
I got a morgue full of dead bodies with neon mesh tank tops, a dead suspect, and no motive. The mayor is on my ass!
There's more to this case than we're seeing, LT. I think it's terrorism.
I agree with Lopez, Chief. It's definitely terrorism. We're dealing with a bigger fish here. As they uncover clues with their incomparable police cop work, Mersh and Lopez get closer to the real masterminds.
Seems like Mateen's phone had some kind of encryption software. It bricked itself.
Damn. So we're screwed, huh?
Well, I managed to get one file off the phone. GPS coordinates that lead to Washington, D.C.
Comet Ping Pong Pizza. Never heard of it.
Feel like grabbing a slice, partner?
Yeah, a slice
Of justice, of justice. Yeah, I know. You say it every time.
Yeah, it's kind of my thing.
Yeah, cool. Can leaving now be our thing? Because it's a long drive to D.C.
Coming up next week, Orlando's best detectives are still trying to get to the truth behind the deadliest attack in their city's history. Mersh and Lopez follow a lead that takes them all the way to the nation's capital. But will their case be derailed as they discover a child sex trafficking ring inside of a pizza place? Find out next week on an all-new Revenge of the Sis. Mondays at 4, followed by an all-new Nazi lawyer. Only on USA Network. USA, what are you gonna do? Watch TBS?
Hey guys, it's Mersh and Royce here, and we would like to take a moment to shill like the unprincipled whores that we are. Thank you all for making Revenge of the Sis one of the fastest growing podcasts out there. Having such outspoken, passionate fans spreading the word about our show makes the work that we do that much more rewarding.
You can help us continue growing by doing the following things. Become a direct contributor by going to patreon.com/we're not sorry. You can choose a one-time donation or recurring one. Every penny helps. It helps us produce quality programming we bring you every week. Also, please subscribe on YouTube, iTunes, and make sure you leave a review on iTunes. All three of these things are extremely important and help us in the court of public perception. And most importantly, tell a friend about Revenge of the Sis. Sure, you probably can't tell your normie boss or your significant other's blue-pilled mom, but everyone knows a person who would like our show. Tell that person about us and help us make a new fan. Seriously, don't be a dick. Get us some clicks.
And please follow our wonderful friends at Facebook, the Mad American Network, the Unapologetic Canadian, Social Justice Warriors, and you can always find us hanging out in the Space Right group on Facebook. Once again, from the bottom of our cold black hearts, thank you for supporting us and making this such an amazing experience.
In a world where our very way of life seems to be under attack from all sides, and our freedoms are slowly being ripped away, Guns for Tards is fighting the good fight to help protect America from its enemies by advocating Second Amendment rights for our nation's most vulnerable and often overlooked citizens, the mentally challenged. Our founding fathers believed that a well-armed, trained, and educated citizenry was the key to a free and prosperous society. But Meatloaf also said 2 out of 3 ain't bad. We believe that Tards are our second to last line of defense against ISIS, and we at Guns for Tards aim to provide the means and the programs to give proper training and resources to Tards in your area, helping to make the country a safer place. There are over 40 million mentally challenged Americans living today, and by 2020, we plan to arm at least 10% of them. We want to get as many guns in the hands of as many Tards as we can. But we won't be able to do it without your help. So please, pledge your help today. Arm a Tard. It's not that hard. Go to www.gunsfortards.com for more information, or follow us on Facebook or Twitter by searching for Guns for Tards.
Gunsfortards.com. Gunsfortards.com. Extra rounds for folks with downs, helping to protect your town. Gunsfortards.com.
If you weren't able to catch the last Hippo Juice show, here's what you probably missed.
Anita Pedman.
That sounds fake.
Fine. Anita Smith, an administrative assistant, altered records to pocket $75.
Wait, I know Padme. She was actually Queen Amidala.
They're the same people?
Yeah. I know. It blew my mind too.
Why wasn't it just Queen Padme?
Guys, I don't know if you know this, but Anakin didn't like sand.
So coarse.
It was very coarse.
And rough.
It was rough and coarse.
Gets everywhere.
Fucking hate that guy.
He was probably bitter because he tried to fuck Queen Amidala.
I thought about that awful dialogue.
I know, dude.
Since
Watch
I watched it the first
again,
time.
though.
I feel like I blocked it out.
You block it out?
Block it out, and the fact that you brought it up just
it's so bad, right?
Are you serious? Out of all 8 and then the side movies, that's the only thing I remember from Star Wars.
Is the sand?
Oh, really? Oh, that's funny.
Like, nothing else matters except for maybe credits will do fine.
Oh,
Except,
she does that all the
credits
time.
will do fine.
But yes.
No, they won't.
Really, seriously, watch the dialogue.
Guess what I have?
Watch the dialogue.
I don't like sand.
Oh God! Don't do that. Turn it up a bit.
Rough and irritating. It
Gets everywhere.
Not like here.
Oh God, it's so bad. Oh,
Here
God.
everything is soft.
It's making me cringe.
Anything.
It's making me cringe.
It was like if the host of an NPR special wrote a Match.com bio.
Right.
I don't like sand.
Listen to the Hippo Juice Show live every Wednesday night, 7 to 9 p.m. on morelikeradio.com.
Do you sometimes feel irritable, restless, uneasy, sad, normal, or just plain not high? Maybe it's time to try crack. Crack may cause shivers, night terrors, gay for pay, heart palpitations, homicidal paranoia, or the sensation that you're on fire. Peeing blood and seeing friends' faces as talking skeletons are possible side effects of crack. People who use crack may also experience 5 to 7 years in prison where brutal raping may occur. If you experience one or more of these side effects, consult your dealer. You may need more crack. Crack. Isn't it time you see what all the fuss is about?
Welcome back, Revenge of the Sis. Thank you for joining us. We have a fun-filled first hour. That way, second hour, we could take things a little seriously. So I got to give Mike credit on this. He's been the one working on this guest for a while. If you want to set it up, my friend, I will get her on.
Absolutely. We are about to be joined by Angelique Bates. She was one of the original cast members of all that. She's a comedian, actress, recording artist. She's currently working with a gentleman named Cavante Jackson, I think. He was on Everybody Hates Chris.
Oh, okay.
And they're working on a project together. But yeah, we were. I was on Twitter. We've been, as you guys know, looking very much into the Nickelodeon thing. And we came across Miss Bates. I guess we'll get her on the line.
Yeah, I'm doing it right now.
Hello.
Hello. Hi, Angelique Bates.
This is her.
Hey, how you doing? This is Mershon Royce from RTC. We really want to thank you for coming on. For those of you that are listening, Angelique Bates, actress, comedian, recording artist, and original cast member of the show All That, which is sort of how we, got in contact with her. How are you today?
I'm pretty good. Thank you for having me on. I'm literally driving as I talk to you guys. That's the only way I was going to be able to squeeze this in.
Yeah, no, and we really appreciate it. I mean, like I said, we were just setting it up to our listeners. We've been back and forth for a couple weeks now, and you've been extremely busy. But yeah, we really want to thank you for coming on. And now you, I'm going to get right down to it. I mean, you were one of the original cast members of All That. Obviously, a show that pretty much anybody listening to this was raised on at some point. So what was that like? I mean, you were like 12, right? Or even younger? What was it like?
Yeah, it was probably 12 years old. I mean, probably for any child at that age, it's exciting. You don't really realize, and none of us realize how much of an impact we were going to have on a lot of people. It was just a job. We booked a show, and we were just, Universal Studios was like our backlot. So that was like a playground, and it was Nickelodeon Studios. So you had the slime kitchen and the booger kitchen and everything. So it was just a big playground for us. Some of us hadn't had anything of that magnitude. I think Kenan Thompson was probably the only one that actually, when he came in, he was from Mighty Ducks. So he was probably used to it, but a lot of us, we hadn't hit anything that major.
See, and that's that's specifically one of the sketches I remember you from too, is the cooking one. When we did the sketch, with chocolate and everything was chocolate.
Understand, just like you, like you. I know I grew up on that show as well. It was great. It was like SNL for kids.
And it was your Urkel
Right.
it was your Urkel impression that actually got them to be like, all right, this chick's gonna be on the show, right? Like, wasn't that the first like big thing that like people noticed and they were like, all right, you're in, because you guys did a lot of impressions and stuff.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, that actually when I auditioned Urkel and a couple characters actually were the ones that I went in because I did impersonations, and that was pretty much how I got the job. And then when I booked it, yeah, Randy and Mandy was one of the top ones. It was Randy and Mandy, and then second came Beth from Good Burger.
Oh wow! Now, what's it like working full time as a child? Like, did it have any effect on you personally?
Well, I mean, at that age, of course, we were reading it as working full time.
Right. It was. Yeah.
You know, our life did revolve around Nickelodeon Studios. We were there early in the morning and there to pretty much the end of the night. I would say a lot of our days probably started roughly around 5 to 6. And the only reason why I say 5 to 6 a.m. is because a lot of us were waking up around that time because we were getting revisions.
Mm-hmm.
We were constantly getting revisions on the script. So that might have been a day that we had to film, and we were going to have to hurry up and adjust to those revisions and hurry up and have them memorized, because once we were to get picked up, then we had to go straight to our school,
Mm-hmm.
our school teacher, I don't know. Whatever
Right.
the politically correct name is.
Yeah.
But yeah, we had to go there, and then once we were done with our schooling, then it was to the set, or either it was lunch, whatever it was. It was a schedule that we were on. So I mean, our life, that was pretty much all we knew. So I don't think at that age we really were bothered, because like I said, Universal Studios was our back lot.
Right.
Once we were done, we went straight to Universal Studios, or we did something. But I mean, it was Nickelodeon Studios, almost like being at Disneyland. It's ironic to say Disneyland because that's like, their arch nemesis or whatever. But, being on a Disneyland playground, you can just only imagine.
Yeah, well, it's changed now. I saw a picture recently where now it's just another postmodern hell building. Like, it's just everything's flat. They took everything off of it.
It's so sad.
It looks so bland. I saw some fans sent me the picture. I was like, oh my God.
And I mean, I thought they were just doing that to cathedrals and old statues, but now apparently they're doing it to Nickelodeon Studios now too. Now they're messing with my history here. But now I'm curious. Now you recently, you kind of made some waves. There's been a lot of stuff going around Hollywood, and you came out recently as a survivor of both physical and mental abuse at the hands of actually it was your own mom, right? Who was your manager?
Well, see, yeah, he was my mom, but she was never my manager. People just automatically, back then that was that whole area of stage moms or whatever, but she was never my manager, but she was definitely my mom.
Got it.
So yeah, to answer your question.
Okay. And was that something that ever did that occur that was on set? Like, was that around? Because obviously, like you said, you're at work most of the day, and then you're at school. Like, you're pretty much probably living in a studio. So I mean, it's not something it's something that people definitely were privy to and saw, right? I mean, it wasn't like a secret, I don't think.
Well, I wouldn't say my mom was beating the crap out of me in front of people, but there were things that happened behind closed doors. We were all put in like condos or whatever, and sometimes apartments where maybe one of the cast members may have been a neighbor.
Mm-hmm.
So, not to put anyone's names out there because it would be unfair to pull any other cast members into it.
Right.
But there was one season where I was put above a particular cast member's head. So they were aware, and that's how certain rumors started making it back to set. So production was aware because there were, people can't hold water.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah,
so especially if you guys are kids too. It's it's already a lot to ask to be working since 5 a.m. I get even though you said it felt like a playground, it's still you're still getting up at 5 and memorizing lines.
Right. It was and that I would say all of us are probably in agreement. That was probably the most dreadful part.
Right.
That we hate that part right there. Because at 5 a.m., oh my God, that was crucial. It was because we just knew we were about to get a revision, and we're shooting like every week, so it's like some of us were in more scenes than others. Second season, they ended up cutting down a lot of my scenes, due to politics that was going on. So I didn't really have that much of an issue. But, first season, I was in a lot of scenes, and I had a lot of lines that I had to hurry up and memorize the revisions. And, as a kid, you're doing it at 5 a.m., 6 a.m. in the morning, because you're having to wake up early so you can memorize the script before you get picked up by the runner.
Yeah, and I mean, doesn't that sort of that lack of, I guess, boundaries for a kid? I mean, that could, obviously in your case and in the case of, like, let's say I know you're friends with, like, Katrina Johnson still, like, obviously they don't all turn out completely whacked out, but it still has to have, I would assume, some sort of an effect on a child when you're basically living like an adult. In a lot of ways, you're the boss.
I get what you're asking me now. Okay, because like I said, as a kid, no, that wasn't noticeable to us. It was, like I said, a lot of us, that was our first time booking stuff. As an adult, I understand what you're asking me.
Right.
So, as an adult, yes, I can see where that has probably contributed to a lot of issues and the whole stigma of, child stars gone bad and the stress or whatever. In the era that I was on TV, I made it sound like I was like super ancient or something, but the era that I was on.
Back when I was a kid.
Right. Child labor laws hadn't completely, they weren't as strict as they were.
Oh.
Like they are now. So yeah, they were saying, back then you had to follow certain rules. It was supposed to be mandatory that parents were on set. Was that the case in certain situations? No, it was not, because being over in Orlando, it was kind of pushed for the parents to not be. Where my issues started happening with production was that my mom, it was a double-edged sword with my mom. She was protecting me from production, and then, at her hands, I was, being abused.
Right.
So it's like, it's kind of like a no-win situation right there. But where they started having a bullseye for her was that she was one of the parents that was not going to leave me unattended on set, because by law, parents are supposed to be there. So they didn't like that fact that she wouldn't leave me.
And that, that's a theme. This theme seems to keep coming up in these interviews that we do, where there's this methodical separation of the parent from the child that they do either consciously or subconsciously, which sort of grooms them and create, you know what I mean? Where that's sort of what I'm getting at, where now you're a kid, you're the breadwinner, you're making money, you're pretty much living in Universal Studios, and now they're,
Which,
they're
by the
like,
way,
the parents don't need to be hanging around.
Can I say, even as an adult, that sounds awesome? Like, I would live in Universal Studios now. I'd be like, all right, can I get in Harry Potter land? Because I want to be in Harry Potter land. You know?
Right. As a kid, like I said, that's why it's a big difference. Like, I get what you were asking me as a kid, but as a kid, no, that didn't. It didn't bring a red flag to us. And as a kid, we thought, oh God, can you just go with the other parents? Like, can you just let us have fun?
Yeah.
Like, that was our thing. As an adult and a mother of two kids, I get what it was, like all the the legal issues of it. So yeah, no, there's a lot of productions. I know that one in particular. The separation of the kid and the parents was something that was very pushed, and that was where the issues started becoming, before they even probably knew that there was any abuse by the hands of my mother. But she wasn't cooperating. I'm trying to think of the word. She wasn't cooperating.
Right? Yeah.
Like I said, the other parents were just like, oh great, my kid has a job. Oh, my kid's making me money. Oh, we're gonna be rich. Of course, they're not trying to ruffle any feathers. My mother has always been one of those people. She doesn't care what feathers she ruffles, whatever. She's following the double, like I said, double-edged sword. She's following the law to an extent, you know, if you get what I'm saying. She wasn't about to leave me unattended, and they did not like that at all. So, like I said, there were issues.
Now, question for you, because there was something came out. We were reading an article in 2002 that they used to have these camps and stuff, and I know that some stuff came out about this guy, Brian Peck. Was he the dialogue coach at the same time you were a cast member?
I know that name, and actually, when my publicist mentioned it to me, I was like, I know the name Brian Peck. Like I said, you have to remember, I was 11, 12 years
Right,
old.
of course.
Like that there was stuff like, if I had known any of this stuff would be popping up right now, like if you could have told me at 11, 12 years old that this big old Hollywood shakedown would be happening, like I would not have believed it. I remember Brian Peck. Brian Peck never did anything to me.
Right.
I can't even tell you what Brian Peck did, to be quite honest, but I just remembered that name because it's Brian Peck. I
Right.
just remembered that name because there's certain names that just ring a bell to me. I can't even tell you what he did. I do remember him being around though.
That makes sense. I mean, you're like you said, I don't remember things from when I was 18. Forget 11. You know, so I
Yeah.
get it. You know?
And we only asked because we did that old research when we found out that he was running, 2-week comedy boot camps away from the parents with our old buddy Dan Schneider, who was how we initially ended up getting contact with you. We were looking into all that, and then I saw your video.
not all that the show, but all that.
Well, yeah, I was into all that.
But also-
it doesn't really. Yeah, I mean, it's a little slanted, a little younger for my taste now. But
Makes sense.
no, I mean, but we got into all the stuff with Schneider, and that's when I honestly came across your completely unrelated video where you were discussing. But again, we aren't really like trying to put, we're not trying to get anybody or get a I gotcha or a scoop. We are trying to uncover that there may be, Hollywood and these studios might be incubating a very toxic culture for kids, and then in many ways they tend to they try to encourage silence to protect their profits whenever they do find out about things like this, and that's sort of, and I mean, I would think, have you ever, if you were to think back to that time, if you did go to anybody on set and say, look, something happened to me, how do you think they would have reacted to something like that?
You know what? Honestly, I don't even know, because back in the reason why I had to mention that particular period in time, that was before social media. That was before a whole lot of stuff, even with the trust funds, the Coogan accounts. That was before that became a legal thing, because parents were, taking the kids' money and everything. I think that was before being pregnant wasn't cool. Now you got celebrities all on red carpets like, I'm pregnant, I'm on my 37, I'm on my 27. Like, being in a relationship, you had to lie about being in a relationship, let alone being married. So that particular time period, I think it would have been looked down on. It would have been probably like, they would have wanted it to be quiet.
Yeah, I mean, it's only asking because it's not even because we see all the stories now that came out with Kevin Spacey and them paying people off and all these other people, and it's like we're more. I mean, not that the other stuff that hasn't happened to adults in Hollywood isn't bad, because it is absolutely, but we just have a feeling that they're not going to differentiate between adults and children, and like you said, you're 11, 12 years old, you're in Universal, you're hanging out, you don't think it's a job. But like when you become a mother yourself, you're like, well, wait a second, this is a little weird. Would I, I would, I'm going to be next to my kid. I'm not going to leave him alone with a strange dude all day. You know what I mean? It's this.
Well, I don't. My child actually, my child does entertainment, and the only reason why I let him do entertainment right now is because he's under, my guidance, and I kind of want him to get it out of his system and not have to, not have to deal with it when he turns 18, because, I'm not really trying to catch any cases because I know what this industry is. I've seen people that I knew for a fact were straight, not be straight anymore. If you can,
Oh, I get it.
You pretty much, yeah, I've seen the actual difference. I know when it happened, but then they have completely blown up. But it's because they had to pretty much in so many ways sell their soul and other body parts. But it happened to them when they were young.
Right.
Is the thing. when we were young. And my son in particular, he's a handsome boy. He's got long hair. He's got the hazel eyes. They already look at him, and I'm like, not today. Not today, not tomorrow, not ever. So I see how it happens. And so there's some situations where there's some productions where they're just like, okay, you guys can go. And I'm like, and they've actually tried to pull it, because when I get him booked on stuff, I never go in there. Some people do it, but I never go in there like, hey, I'm Angelique Bates from Nickelodeon's all that. Hire my son.
Right.
I don't, because one thing, as he gets older, I don't want it ever being, my mom did this. My mom's the reason. No one can ever tell him anything that he's earned was because of his mom. No, he actually got that role because he went in. Now, they find out that I am the girl from all that. Then they find out after the fact. But a whole other reason why I don't really do that is because of what happened with Nickelodeon and the whole being blackballed and everything over BS. I don't want that to tarnish him or any chances that he's got.
Yeah, no, and you know, and that makes sense. And then you're right. People hold grudges, and is there anything did they ever do anything specifically to silence you, or they just blackballed you and they said you're out?
So with the whole, that's really why everybody's tuning in. It's like, what was it that Nickelodeon did? Okay, so the thing is, like I said, with my mom was the one. Like I said, it was a double-edged sword with my mom. My mom was abusing me. But at the same time, my mom wasn't going for the okie doke. She was not going to leave me unattended. And I'm sorry if you hear any humming. My daughter is deciding she wants to go into a full Broadway chorus right now.
It's okay.
It's all right.
It's all right. She's got a nice audience right now, you know, and she might blow up over this.
Right. So, she wasn't, you couldn't easily buy my mom. Like I said, everybody, you know, nothing against anybody else's parents, but there were parents that it was their first time. So, of course, you don't want to ruffle any feathers because you don't want your child, who this is their first major thing, to get fired. You don't. What do? It's like, oh, you want me to go? Okay, bye. Oh, we have per diem money? Oh, yeah, shoot, we're gone. There were parents that were gone all day. There were some parents that never came. They weren't even in the same state.
Oh, wow.
So, you know, they may have had a guardian, you know, before, you know, creating some other issues for somebody, but there may have been a guardian, but the point is, it wasn't the parent. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's probably the manager. It's probably Marty Weiss.
Guardians, and you know, guardian, sometimes, especially if you have a young guardian, I'm on the set. Like, you go do whatever you do. Just don't get me in trouble, you know?
Right.
So there were situations like that. So there were kids that probably should have been washed a little bit harder than they were, and it wasn't happening. So, my mom, like I said, she was there. I was to be in the dressing room when everything was done. There was no, oh, you can go hang out with the celebrities when they come. Like, and as a kid, I hated that. Right. We had Usher, we had TLC, Aaliyah, everybody coming through. The other kids could go and hang out, but I had to go back home. Like, I couldn't hang out, you know?
Yeah.
And as a kid, hated that. It was like the evilest thing in the world. But the production wanted that, and it wasn't happening. So, you know, they're looking at that.
And by the way, can I say I'm a huge TLC fan, and that would have bummed me out too as a kid if I could have met. I'm being honest. Like, I remember, and I know that people are gonna think, oh, what's wrong with you? But I swear to God, as a straight man, I know every word to every song on Crazy, Sexy, Cool, and I'm going to admit that right now. I really do.
Yeah, if somebody even just starts playing the first riff from Creep,
forget Creep.
It's like,
you can play Red Light Special, and I'll sing every word.
Creep or Red Light Special, I'm in. I'm all in with that.
Right. Exactly. So you're telling like a 12-year-old,
yeah,
you know, or 11-year-old, and you can't go hang with Ray Jane, and you can't go hang with TLC. What? Are you serious?
Right.
But like I said, it was hand in hand because also I was being abused at the same time.
Right.
So
now
I don't want to be at the house.
Yeah, that actually makes me curious too. Now because we actually had somebody on here before who told us about, you know, like these weird auditions and they separate you from your parents. But she was one of those who, like you, her mom was like, no, I'm not leaving. She was kind of mad at her mom back in the day for blowing it for her. But at the same time, she's grown up into a very well-adjusted, well-balanced young lady.
Right.
So she kind of gets along with her mom now. Has your relationship improved with your mom? Have you guys kind of made amends or?
No, not at all. She's still there. That the abuse had nothing to do with Nickelodeon. It just happened on Nickelodeon property, And so whatever those issues were, those issues were never resolved. If anything, it made it a bigger issue because dealing with the fact that it happened on Nickelodeon property and the way Nickelodeon tried to cover it up and the things that they were doing, they blackballed me. So as an adult, they made it very hard for me to make a living.
Yeah. So basically, it's, and we've been hearing this a lot. If you don't play ball, they that's it. You know, they will cut you out, and you know, and it affects you because all these people know each other. You know, the people at Disney and Nickelodeon, they all know each other, and you know, once they don't hire this person because they're a liability, and you know.
Well, there was more. There was also more to it because one thing, like my mom was protecting. Like, okay, so like I said, because I've been asked this online. I've even been tagged with him. Dan Snyder never physically touched me, ever. So that I can't help people out on that. Like, people want me to say that so bad.
No, but we understand. No, we just want all we were looking for is the truth. That's it. We're not trying to, you know, again, everyone's story is different. And when we got into this, yeah, we started with the Dan Schneider thing, but this got bigger for us. It became about children in Hollywood in general.
And we understand because honestly, I personally have been on both of our Twitter accounts defending Angelique Bates on Twitter when she's not on there.
Yeah.
Because people are like, what did Dan Schneider do? And I'm like, I've been talking to her. She's coming on the show. Leave it alone. It's not a Dan Schneider thing. Calm the fuck down. Let's get her on the show.
Like,
Calm down.
I had to really, well, you know, I'm sorry for the way it was just, I had to really like figure out because like I've already been blackballed, you know, and it's like when I did try to come out, I came under attack and people try to stretch the words. But at the end of the day, I told everybody, I said, if you actually listen and you pay attention to the videos, if I said anything that was incorrect, Nickelodeon would have sued my ass. They did not, because I did not say one thing that was a lie. I did not slander them. Everything I said was the truth, and there's a paper trail. So they know, like, trust and believe. If I said anything, they were waiting. They probably just were waiting for me to just say one thing that was untrue, and then I would have a gag order right now. That didn't happen because everything I said was true. And as far as my mom, the blackball thing, there was more aspects to it. Like I said, first season, I was pretty much one of the stars. One of them, because it was me. It would have been Kellen Keenan, and I think that was pretty much how. And then Lori Beth, because Lori Beth was, you know, my information. So she was always in there like swimwear. Now the second season, the reason why it started looking like I was an extra is because first season, certain people, I don't want to say names, certain people try to make advances towards my mother. My mother turned them down.
Ooh.
And when that happened, my role started suffering. So because my mother went to sleep with certain people, it affected me. My mom completely blocked anything that was trying to happen. There was a situation where something inappropriate did try to happen. We were at a party, and my mom completely blocked it. But that's like the only memory that I have. But my mom was pretty much that wall. And they did not like that. And then my mom turns you down on top of it. Oh, she's public enemy number one.
Wow.
So and then this child is getting abused too. Oh, child services has came. Oh, the police have came. Oh, okay, yeah, no, we gotta get rid of her.
Right.
And what's the best way where nobody believes anything? Oh, let's blackball her. We're gonna make it seem like this happened. So if I do say anything, then they're not gonna believe her. She's just saying it because she's been blackballed. But people in Hollywood don't ask. They just automatically are just like, hey, you know, well, hey, she got released from Nickelodeon. And the thing was, I was going to sue them. And at that age, when they released me the way that they did, and somebody told me, they were like, well, you know, the lawyer was like, go for it. The lawyer was like, go for it. But someone else was like, if you sue, you can get blackballed.
Yeah,
and I got blackballed anyway.
Yeah, and it's...
So I wish I had sued them.
Okay, well, I have a question, and this is without asking you to say anything out of turn or get yourself in trouble or get yourself sued. This is a total hypothetical. You have a daughter, you just said, right? She was singing in the background.
I have a daughter and a son.
Now, if your daughter was offered a starring role in a Dan Schneider created show, you know, as a showrunner, one of his hit shows, the next show on Nickelodeon, would you allow your daughter
or son
to work? Well, yeah, but particularly daughter.
Okay.
To work on that set, and with little supervision and things like that.
Mental supervision? No. Honestly, I would rather my kids be Disney kids, to be quite honest.
You know what's funny? You know what's funny about that?
Who wouldn't?
You know how many people have said that? They've said the same thing, like, well, yeah, I'd rather them go to Disney though. And I think a lot of the things that the reason why a lot of the stuff at Nickelodeon is kept under wraps, and this is just our guess, is because especially now, Nickelodeon has Disney envy because Disney's crushing them in the ratings right now, like crushing them.
Yeah.
And that's objective.
I will say Disney,
Yeah, go ahead.
people, it's pretty much you pick your devil because
Right.
they're both signing a life over to the devil. But if I would have had a choice, I would have preferred to have been a Disney kid because one thing about Disney is they don't just like discard you unless you screw up. That's
Right.
the only time they really kick you to the curb. They use you to the max.
Yeah,
if you sing, you about to kick out 5 albums. Oh, if you do this, you're about to be signed to this contract to Death Do His Part.
No, you're right, because they still do stuff with Shia LaBeouf, and that guy's a mess. It's a complete mess.
It's like,
Now-
it's like Nickelodeon don't care. It's like, go to hell.
That's a good point.
Yeah, just don't get in a DUI that kills anyone, and you'll be all right.
Right. And they're like, oh, you sing? Oh, well, you know what? That's cool. You sing, but we don't want you to overshadow this person. And that I actually that was that first season.
Ooh.
No, it was second season. Hell, it was one of them seasons, and it was a table read that we had. I had a character voice I was doing, killed them, had everybody just laughing, and actually Dan took me to the side and was just like, yo, that was funny, blah blah blah, but kill that voice because you're taking away from such and such a scene.
Ooh.
But it was all of our thing, you know.
Right.
And so when I got rid of the voice, everybody was like, "Why did you do that?" But I wasn't about to be like, "Well, dance on me," you know. Like I just like, "Oh, I don't want to do the character no more." But they were like, "It was funny," but I was specifically told by him, "Don't do that voice anymore because you're taking a shine away from such and such."
Wow. So even then, they had this weird little hierarchy.
Yeah, caste system.
Yeah, like
Well,
a caste
first
system.
of all, they favor the males anyway. At that network, they favor the males.
Which is another reason, and Mike pointed this out when Dan Schneider did go to receive his Lifetime Achievement Award. It was only males that were up there with him, except for one because
Victoria Justice
because she
was the
was
only one up
still
there.
doing a show.
She
with
was
him.
still under contract.
and we always thought that's weird with how many women and girls he's worked with.
It's a glaring,
Well,
glaring
it's always
absence.
been like that. I will say one thing I do remember we had a female writer. She was dope, and she was the only female writer out of like a handful of male writers, and she ended up being fired.
Ooh.
Because she was for the females. As a matter of fact, she wrote so many dope characters for me, and they didn't like that. She had wrote some dope characters for me. She had wrote some for the other girls, and they were like, "It's not about them. It's about Whoopsie Wop and da 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 da."
Right.
Such and such. And they ended up. Yeah, I remember that. She was dope. I can't even remember her name, but I remember she was the only female writer we had at that time, and they ended up releasing her because she was dealing with too much. I can't remember if she quit or if they fired her.
Huh.
But it was a problem. It was a problem because she wouldn't write what they wanted her to write.
Yeah, and that's the that's the thing that we're seeing too. It's they kind of like they make their own, to lack of a better word, they make their own environment where they could control the narrative, control what happens.
Yeah. Well, I mean, back then when I was on, Dan was the one that was controlling all that.
Right.
So, like I said, there were situations. I dealt with situations. There was, I'm not going to try that one. There were situations where, like I said, physically, no, Dan never touched me. But there were, he verbally, I did damn near almost get cussed out by him on set for something that ended up being proven it wasn't my fault. But it was just like, even as a kid, like I said, there was a lot of unethical stuff going on. But I didn't even know about half the stuff that's hit Hollywood, the Hollywood Shakedown, until I was doing an interview, and then I thought that they legitimately wanted to do an interview with me, and then they just like turned the tables on me and was like, "So,
Oh wow.
what do you think about this?" And then and that was my first time ever, like, even really knowing anything about it, because like I said, my mom, like I said, it was a double-edged sword with my mom. My mom's beating my ass, but then she's like protecting me from Nickelodeon all at the same time. Like, she blocked all of that. Like I said, the reason why they started hating her was because she was blocking me from that, and because she was turning down sexual advances from it. So it was like, you know, what do you do? And that's why second season, if you look, I was pretty much an extra, but I was a series regular.
Wow. And now I have another question for you, because if there's any young girls in a similar situation listening right now, is there any advice you would like to give them, or anything that you wish you knew when you were their age?
Well, it's 2017 right now, so times have changed compared to 96.
Good point.
And,
very good point.
Yeah, these young girls will probably teach her something.
we got social media now.
That's a good point.
Y'all got social media. You got blogs. You have everything that we did not have. If something is going on, man, talk about it. Like, talk about it. And it's like right now you can make yourself your own star just by doing something on YouTube, or where you do not need these networks. Like, the networks are really starting to lose their power, and that's why they're scared. And that's why Hollywood is nervous right now. This shakedown, like, it's literally like 3 celebrities coming out almost like every day about, I was sexually harassed, I got my balls grabbed. It's like, it's some coming out every single day now. Like,
Well, and
it's insane. And I think about it, if my mama hadn't been blocking like she was, I probably would be one of those stories. My story would be worse than it is.
Right.
It's already bad.
Well, and it's honestly, it's not isolated to just Hollywood. This is happening with elite people anywhere. It's happening in politics. It's happening in the media. They're all crumbling because I think people, like you said, have social media now. And when they try to control the narrative, people are like, hold up. No,
What did you just say?
No. And then they start looking at hashtags on Twitter, and they're like, no, you're lying to me, and you're paying Google to bury stuff. This is all, like, people are kind of snapping out of it now. And
I think you're right. I think, you had a very good point. It's 2017, not 1996. Even if kids now were on the set at Universal, they probably would still just be on their phones at break. They wouldn't even be doing anything. They'd be just on Twitter.
So you're now you're recording an album right now, if I recall correctly.
Yeah, working on the mixtape, and mixtape is in the album, because right now, this quarter is on break right now. So, right now I'm working on a mixtape.
Okay, and you're working with the guy. He was on Everybody Hates Chris, right? His name's Cavante Jackson.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. That's where you do your research.
Yeah, no, I mean, I don't like to, I look into stuff. I don't like to just, fly up by the seat of our pants.
Yeah.
We even have, you can't see because you're on the phone, but we have a very lovely on the phone graphic. With your Yeah, we don't mess around. It's a professional outfit.
Oh.
And honestly, I got to say, we would love to have you on different circumstances that aren't about this, because you've been a wonderful guest.
The chat room loves you. The listeners love you. The people that listen to this not live later are going to love you.
Yeah.
So you're welcome anytime. You want to promote stuff, call and shoot the shit with us. You've been amazing. So thank you so much for coming on.
We
and,
really appreciate it.
If there's anything now, it's at Angelique Bates on Twitter. Your Instagram's slightly different, right?
Yeah, it's no. On Twitter, it's Angelique Bates. Instagram is Angelique Bates. Now it's Facebook that's official Angelique Bates.
Okay,
There you go.
official
Okay.
Angelique Bates.
And
Got
we're
it.
going to provide all the links
Yeah.
in the chat room
Yeah.
to all our people or anything. But thank you so much for coming on. This was a really awesome segment. and
seriously, thank you.
this is 2 days of back-to-back awesome guests. So thank you so
But
much.
Again, we would love to have you back on different circumstances that aren't as dreary. But thank you so much.
For
Okay.
sure.
Well, I can come back and talk about the mixtape.
Yes, you can. When it comes out, you call us and we will have you on.
Yeah,
That-
no,
you have our word.
absolutely. We'll promote the shit out of it.
Thank you so much.
Angelique Bates, ladies and gentlemen.
Bye.
That was freaking cool.
Yeah, she was wonderful. I
Yeah.
mean, really, that was.
If I didn't know any better, I'd say your boys here are starting to get the hang of this whole interviewing people seriously thing. Because we were not very good at that years ago.
But now we're still not good at it, but we're funny.
But we're trying. We're still terrible at it, but we try hard.
Can we get one of them participation trophies?
No, she was fantastic. But yeah, no, years ago, Royce and I did radio together, and we never had a good interview because we purposely would book interviews and then just abuse people.
Because we weren't nice.
I don't know why we did that. But we're grown-ups now, and that was a great segment.
Well, it's about
It's
time.
eye-opening.
Time to shill, my friend.
Time to shill.
Yep.
We're still working on RevengeOfTheSys.com. It should be up probably in the next couple days. Tonight, we're gonna take we're gonna have a
some
wine
work.
and cheese night.
Yeah,
We're
we're
gonna
taking a
relax
night
little
off.
bit
Right, give
with,
us a break.
PayPal.me/We're Not Sorry.
One-time donation.
For a one-time donation. Patreon.com/We're Not Sorry if you want to hook us up on a monthly basis.
Both things get the Hank Q. Thank you, by the way.
Yes.
Thank you for your service.
Subscribe, rate us on iTunes, and Roku, people. Roku, if you have a Roku and you are hearing my voice, please subscribe and rate us.
And rate
We're
us 5
climbing.
stars. We're climbing up. We've only been on one day,
We're
and
not
we've
even
already
a day.
jumped up 20 spots. So seriously, anything you could do to get us to the top on Roku would be amazing. And you know what I'm leaving us with today?
I don't know, not the TCR, since that we got hit with a fucking
TCR.
copyright.
We're trying to hook you up, homeboy, but you hit us with a copyright strike.
Yeah, hey, at @the_TCR on Twitter. Maybe hook us up with some tracks. Don't fuck us over. Just kidding. We love you.
We're out of here, guys. We will see you Monday.
Gustavo Almodovar, 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 Channel 9 Eyewitness News. News.